Hey, if anyone's there, I'm just gonna warm up a little bit. Hopefully you can hear me okay, and the volume is okay. Just gonna wait for some people to come in. And just a heads up, I'm only gonna be doing this for about an hour. Let's see, Ryan from Arcades Games is here. Hello, Ryan. Thank you for joining me. I wasn't entirely expecting to see you here. Yeah, this wasn't really planned, like a lot of my streams are. I'm just, I got off of work early. I figured, what the hell? Do this for about an hour, and we'll see where it goes. And I just been recording stuff from this collection because it's relevant to my next video project, my next mainstream video project. So this is my way of tying everything together. Probably going to give it another sec or so for people to show up. But yeah, I will, once we get a few people in here, I'll have y'all determine what game I should play. Because there's like 20 something in this collection. 24. Now we have 2 people in now. Ryan, if you're still here, I'm curious if you played this collection or have any opinions of any games on this collection. Ryan says, I haven't. I think I might own it though? Question mark. He's not sure if he owns it. This was donated to me by an individual who calls himself Boney. This is not the first game that's been donated to me by him. And just really convenient to have. My friend Kyle sent me the second one last year, I believe. And that has some cool games on it. So let's take a look and see what's on here. We got 720 by Atari Games, which is a skateboarding game. Blaster, I think it's by Williams. Yes, that's the Williams logo there. Bubbles. I had the opportunity to play a Bubbles cabinet at the Houston Arcade Expo. Another quirky game from Williams, Defender 1 and 2, which I think Defender I'd say that was a game that put their video game division on the map. Uncle Waluigi is here, starting us with a non sequitur. Is Skullmania the greatest fictional character in existence, or is he not? I mean, if you know who he is. If you don't, I guess not. What else we got here? Hello, Uncle Waluigi. We're gonna be playing. I'm gonna be playing this rather, because you're not here with me. Gonna be doing this for probably about 10:30 my time. Gonna have you guys decide what game on this collection I'm gonna play. And I'm just doing a quick run through here. Let's see. Next up we got Gauntlet, which is a 4-player action dungeon exploration game by Atari Games. Joust and Joust 2. The first Joust being a very big title for Williams. Clax, a very weird puzzle game by Atari Games. Marble Madness. I think this was one of the earlier titles from Atari Games when they got split up. Paperboy, another classic. Rampage, shit. Of all the games on this side, one of the few that was actually made by Midway themselves, way back when. And I actually at Houston Arcade Expo, I recently met the creator of Rampage, and he's quite a character. I'll say that much. Rampart, this is a very odd game. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Alright, really sorry about that. So happens when you hiccup and swallow at the same time. Uncle Waluigi says, doesn't the second collection have Mortal Kombat? Yes, it does. There's no Mortal Kombat on this collection. Which is pretty ironic, because I would say that's probably the excuse me. Probably the biggest game to come out of Midway. At least in terms of notoriety. Road Blasters, one of my favorite arcade games, actually. Not absolute favorite, probably close to top 10 material. Robotron, this was made by Eugene Jarvis and noted for its 2-lever controls, 2 joystick controls. Had the opportunity to play an actual cabinet of it recently. Satan's Hollow. It's a Space Invaders type game. What the hell is it? Sinistar. Reminds me a lot of Bosconian. Smash TV. A very violent game by Williams. I think this is when Williams acquired Midway. And Total Carnage by Midway is kind of a successor to this. This is more essentially a successor to Robotron, as it's a dual joystick arcade action game. Although it's much more violent and gruesome. Very memorable game. Splat. I had no idea what this was until very recently. Apparently, it was never released commercially. So there you go. And to give you some perspective, it doesn't have a Wikipedia page. So chew on that. Spy Hunter. One of the very few games on this collection that was actually made by Midway internally. And one of their more well-known titles. Brian Cullen, the creator of Rampage, or one of the creators, he designed and did the art for Rampage. Did the sprite work for Spy Hunter. Super Sprint, it's a very outdated racing game. It's kind of neat, although I don't really care for the style. Root Beer Tapper It's a censored version of something called Tapper, which and instead of serving alcohol, you're going to serve root beer in this version. Unfortunately, I don't think the original Tapper's ever been re-released. Tubin, a rafting game by Atari Games. I never got into this game for the life of me. And finally, we have Vindicators, which is a pretty cool tank battle game. Okay. So, I just laid out all 24 games on this collection. Which one would you guys like to see me tackle? Uncle Waluigi says, remember when it was actually Midway and not NetherRealm? You know, in recent years, I realized how hilariously convoluted the history of Midway was. But it seems to be that Midway nowadays seems to exist as a brand name for Warner Brothers to use when they're going into their catalog of arcade classics they own. Because what was it? Like Tubin, for instance, Paperboy 720. Those were made by Atari Games, which is a different entity from Atari, not the same Atari that made Centipede and the Atari 2600. It's so weird. It's a very weird legal situation. But they're now they've been collected under the Midway name. However, this collection predates Warner Brothers getting the Midway stuff. Anyway, we got one Rampage, 0 everything else. Hello, Juan. We're not going to be doing this for very long. And I probably won't be playing Rampage terribly long, because since I'm by myself, Rampage is not as much fun alone, and I don't think this game is very fun when you play it alone, and it just kind of gets old fast, but we'll see what happens. Juan says, are you doing something for Thanksgiving? Yes, I'm working 12 hours on Thanksgiving. Thanks for asking, Juan. I mean, to possibly make this more interesting, if you don't want me to play as George, I could do Lizzie or Ralph if possible. Juan says, well, Rampage is kind of boring with one player. That's the problem. Rampage is about going nuts with your friends. But we'll do this. When I was at Houston Arcade Expo, there were a few Rampage machines, actually. And people were crowding at them. So the game still does have appeal, I see, even though it's been away for a while. Frankly, I like the sequel a lot better. Rampage World Tour. I think that game's a little bit more lively. Uncle Waluigi says, do you think it's possible to play Soul Calibur 6 with viewers? You know, how late are you going to be up, man? that's going to be my first question for you. Because I could possibly do it, but I'm going to have to turn the mic off in about an hour, unfortunately. But I could possibly do it and just have a quiet stream. But I still want to do this. In order to do that, I need to get the Xbox set up. Which, all my stuff gets packed up about every 2 weeks. And then I have to take it out and put it back in again. Holy... No, somebody's messaging me. Okay. Yeah, there's my response for you, Uncle Waluigi. I don't know what your plans are for tonight. He says usually up till 11. See, the problem, Uncle Waluigi, is that the reason why I did this was not planned. I honestly thought I was going to be at work until an hour from now. But I had some time today. Also, I'm naked in the game right now. But every single day until next Monday, I'm going to be working at least 8 hours, and sometimes maybe 12 hours. So I just don't know if I could promise it at a time that would work for you. So if you want to do it tonight, possibly within the next hour, I wouldn't be opposed to doing it. But I can't promise any other time this week. Juan is pointing out that the first game in the series is Soul Edge, which I do own. I own the PlayStation version of Soul Edge. Now, according to... I'm going to fall down and take damage now. Yay. According to Brian Cullen, the creator of Rampage, that the appeal of this game is that there's no wrong way to play it. But I think that Rampage kind of suffers from a lack of having an objective. That's where the issue of this game... the fun is playing with other people. And finding ways to compete with your friends or create havoc. Juan says, "Let's Go Pikachu" is kind of a disappointment. I don't have a Switch, I wouldn't know. Also, Uncle Waluigi, I don't know what time zone you're in. Because where I am right now, it's 9:49. I'm probably going to die soon. I feel like a lot of Midway's original titles and just American game design in general, I feel it's a little bit more mean-spirited sometimes than Japanese games. This game can be very mean. Uncle Waluigi says I'm an hour ahead of you. So, it's 10:49 where you are? Juan says he's from the West Coast. Okay. And I'm dead. Yeah. Correct. Okay. So, did you like my Soul Calibur proposal or not? I just, I'm not sure. Okay. I will do a round as Lizzie. Just one round as Lizzie. And then... I'll switch to another game, because there's not much to say about Rampage one player. Have you guys played Rampage World Tour? As I've said, that one's my favorite of what I've played of the Rampage games. Woman finds lake to be radioactive. That really does sound like English, doesn't it? Uncle Waluigi says, can you get a quick summary of the proposal because he accidentally turned off his phone? I was suggesting I have to cut off my microphone at 10:30, and my Xbox is currently packed away. I'd have to go get it out. I was wondering if I would do Soul Calibur and stream at 10:30, but it would have to be a quiet stream if you want to play online, if that would work for you. Juan seems to be saying that he thinks that Rampage World Tour is better to play. I think that game's a little bit more fluid. A little bit more fun. Fun, not fun. It still suffers from the same problem as this game, is that it just goes on too long. Uncle Waluigi would be cool with that, okay. I wanted to see the movie with The Rock, but it didn't come to that ultimately. Yeah, normally I do this much earlier, but it's just been a very irregular week. Yeah, I got Zap. Uncle OG said he played Rampage on the Game Boy. Damn it. I'm gonna eat this jerk. Alright, too spicy. And there's your nudity there. There's your T rating. Well, there's my one life. I like to move on to something else. Just not as fun alone. Maybe, what would I be in the mood to do? Possibly 720 or Clax. Also, how are my levels, guys? Or Vindicators? I've fun with that. Of those options, what would you like to see? Excuse me, or perhaps something else. I'm leaning towards those games, so. Juan is saying something about Mattel owning the trademark to the name Ken. Gowaluigi says Vindicator seems intriguing. Juan seemed to be saying Clax. I'll do 2 rounds of Vindicators. We'll see how far I can get. And then I'll do Clax. Now, when I was talking about my arcade history earlier, this was developed by Atari Games. Atari's game division. Their arcade division that split off when Warner Brothers sold... when Warner Communications sold their assets off. So this gets collected under the Midway stuff. Unlike the 2600 classics or the arcade stuff made before, like Centipede. And yeah, anyways, this is a pretty neat game. A lot of games by Atari Games, they have very similar interfaces. So they definitely developed their style, the way I see it. Juan says the only Midway game is now owned by Warner Brother, and they have the rights to JoJo. Sure. I thought Warner Brothers produced the dub of the first 2 seasons of JoJo's. I thought JoJo's was distributed by Viz Media. Now, something I am trying to get my hands on is NBA Showtime for Dreamcast. That's something I would love to stream. Because something that I was recording for a video is the Midway basketball game, Arch Rivals, also designed by Brian Collin, who did Rampage as well, and that's a game over there. And it's a pretty good basketball game, Arch Rivals, and it's essentially the predecessor to NBA Jam. Sorry, I zoned out there for a moment. And I thought about how it's crazy. When I was younger, NBA Jam was a massive arcade game. It's something that people would line up for, and it doesn't seem to exist anymore. And it probably can't because of a bunch of licensing crap. I think Mr. Top 10 List likes that game. I'll have to talk to him about it. I wonder if he's spying on the stream. Juan is saying something about Warner Brothers owning the rights to JoJo's. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Uncle Waluigi, wants to know who is my favorite Street Fighter character. You know, it's so hard to pick one. It really is. I know it's such a cop-out answer, but I'm pretty fond of Dudley. I like how he tries to be civil and have good manners. I also like his play style, even though I'm frankly not the best with him. I think I was pretty decent with him when I was kind of competitive with Super Street Fighter 4, but I'm not really great with him. I like Ibuki's personality. She also has some cool moves. I like Necro. He seems like a nice guy, even though he's kind of freaky. Not a bad guy. I'm also pretty fond of Alex. When I was younger, I really liked Ken. I thought his Dragon Punch was cool. A lot of the Street Fighter 3 characters. So there's your answer. Juan says, are we talking about NBA Hang Time? No, I'm talking about NBA Showtime on Dreamcast. The game was called NBA Showtime NBA on NBC. That is the full name of the game. Juan is talking about Q from Street Fighter. Nobody knows a whole lot about Q. Anyway, Vindicators. I like how I'm playing one game and we're talking about another. It's Vindicators. The actual arcade version of this game had a tank-like controls. So I'm playing this on GameCube, by the way. And in order to emulate the tank controls, you gotta use your D-pad. Oh. Gotta escape. Okay. Uncle Waluigi says Dan or Q for him, but if we're talking about EX, we gotta go with Skullmania. EX just seems to be so forgotten. And when I was younger, I dismissed EX, and I kind of regret it. Those games have really cool music. I guess I should investigate if there's a way to own them or obtain them in a home console format. I mean, I like collecting games for the hobby aspect of it, but being able to record footage and make videos with it is really important to me too. I don't like collecting for the sake of it. I like to collect so that I can talk about things. Otherwise, it feels like you're being like a hoarding dragon. Uncle Waluigi says that he recently got EX Layer and it's a pretty solid fighting game. Cool. What system is that for? Juan points out NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC. Yes, the title is a mouthful. And then Sonic and Knuckles from Devil May Cry. NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC, and Knuckles. Uncle Waluigi says PS4. Ah, okay. See, the only current generation console I have is Xbox One. But I plan on getting a Switch sometime in the next 2 or 3 months. Don't know if it'll be for Christmas. Because I'm also trying to save up for a new car. I don't know. The thing about Uncle Waluigi says it's not an Xbox. Okay, well that sucks. I said I was gonna do another life, but I lied. We'll do one more. Uncle Waluigi says you're gonna get Smash. I mean, I'd like to. Honestly, man, I could go to the store and buy a Switch right now. I'm just choosing not to, because that would not be a very mature thing to do. That's the frustrating thing with having hedonistic desires. I do not own a Switch. I actually own a few games for Switch. I currently do not have a Switch. And if you're wondering what I do with those few games, I play them at friends' houses. Uncle Waluigi says that he can't because child labor laws exist. Yeah, well, whenever you decide to enter the workforce, I never get a good grasp on your age. I'm taking a guess here, maybe like 12 or 13 or 14. Yeah, just try your hardest. Always be willing to learn, and don't let employers pick on you. Set your limits. Thankfully, there are child labor laws, and we don't live in the Great Depression where Okay, sorry. I was kind of inching towards that. Oh well, you'll be ready to enter the workforce in a year or two then. But yeah, thankfully we don't live in a day and age where kids would be forced to work in factories and get their damn arms cut off. That was kind of a problem like 80 years ago. Thankfully that doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, my oh, it's game over. Well, that's Vindicators. I don't think I'm going to keep going. This is just kind of a Midway sampler, really. I'll move on to Clax. I don't know if you got anything from Vindicators. It's a pretty neat game. I'm not sure how fair it is, but it's neat. Atari Games has a very cool vibe to it. Uncle Waluigi says without ARMS, he couldn't play the Nintendo Switch that he doesn't have yet. Are you talking about your arms or the video game arms? Okay. Yeah. So I'm also kind of tempted to play Paperboy. Yeah. Vindicators, Clax, and Paperboy, all games by Atari Games, and they all have their own little style to them, and I just think that they're neat. I think we'll do Clax and then Paperboy, and then I might take a brief recess, set up the Xbox. That'll take probably about 10 or so minutes, because it's actually, how do I say this? We had cleaned the place every 2 weeks, and I always have to pack all my shit up, and I don't really have the ideal setup for just leaving things out and getting back to it like I would like to. So I always have to put my things away. Uncle Waluigi's talking about his own arms. Yeah, I know. I'm kidding. Uncle Waluigi says he doesn't know if he's allowed to play Xbox this late. I don't want to get you in any trouble. If we can't do it, I mean, it'll just have to wait. When to, I really don't know. Right now, the only consoles I have set up are PS3 and I said GameCube. It's really my Wii. My GameCube is in my room right now. So I don't want to get you in trouble. In any trouble. Juan says, can you do create a character? Possibly. So, Clax, this is a really odd puzzle game by Atari. Uncle Waluigi says that he can't wait. That he just wants to show off his skull mania. Uncle Waluigi, sorry. Okay, so I guess we won't do that tonight. Yeah, I don't know how to describe this game. It is a puzzle game. It's a match 3 puzzle game. Oh, I'm on. Okay. It's very quirky and weird, but I still think it's fun. And the trick here is that you don't want to stack anything. You have limited space. It's actually, I don't think these go any higher than 5 up. Juan says that somebody made Woody. We found a Woody online when I did a Soul Calibur stream. Uncle Waluigi says, speaking of being up late, I must sleep. Okay. Well, you know, everybody got to sleep. So, rest up. If you're on Thanksgiving break, I hope you enjoy it. I'm not getting a break this Thanksgiving. As much as I would like to. Juan is saying something about Sega Genesis. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Juan. Juan is saying that they're in the last season of the Sailor Moon dub. You know, I'm glad that Sailor Stars could finally get an English release. I'm not as into that as some of my friends are. Uncle Waluigi says that he's got the rest of the day off after tomorrow, so that's cool. Yeah, I just have an incredibly busy week coming up. Thanksgiving has not been a restful holiday for me in a very long time. I usually have to work a lot or have some kind of expectation, so I just... As much as I would love to stream on Thanksgiving, I don't know. Maybe Sam might. I can't make any promises. Don't know if you guys are getting anything out of this game. I know it's very strange. I'm supposed to mesh these up diagonally. Juan says that he's enjoying Clax. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, one more drop and that's the game over. Nah, I screwed myself. Oh well. Alright, see you later, Uncle Waluigi. Alright, let's try that again. I think these sound effects are really funny. I don't know. I know some people would probably find them annoying, but they put a smile in my heart. Juan is saying something about a green arm. No idea, man. Then this goes here. Yeah, I think what makes this a good puzzle game is that it does a good job putting pressure on you. Juan is saying that it's a Dragon Ball English dub reference. Alright, I forgot you can make those for days. Can't say I remember the context. Oh, that wasn't good. Let's see, out of the corner of my eye, I see some comments. I'll get to it in a moment. That was very close. If that yellow tile dropped, that'd be game over. That's cool. And guys, just a reminder, if you're enjoying the stream, remember to hit that like button. Or smash it, as is the YouTube nomenclature. No, it's game over. Juan says that Dragon Ball movie, I think he's trying to say that excuse me, Dragon Ball Evolution was only made to keep a license. Could be. I mean, sometimes movies are only made just to fulfill a contract. Like, that's why the really weird Cat in the Hat movie with Mike Myers was made. Because he owed Universal Studios a movie so that he wouldn't get sued in order to fulfill a contract. He had, they were trying to make a movie about his character Dieter from the SNL skit Sprockets, and he refused to do it. He didn't want to do the movie to which the script that he had written, and he was forced to do that crazy Cat in the Hat movie just so that Universal Studios would not sue him. Contractual obligations are why a lot of movies get made, like Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. That movie was made because Sony had to make it, or else they would get in trouble with Marvel for breach of contract. Then after the movie comes out and barely makes any money, then Marvel gets the rights to Ghost Rider back. Paperboy. This game must have been really revolutionary in 1984. I wouldn't know because I wasn't born then. But I think this game is great. I'm gonna crash. Damn it! Damn it! Nowadays, you kids don't even know what a newspaper is. And just the thing about this game is that it really defies genre. It's kind of a driving game. I've heard some people call this game a rail shooter. I really don't know if I can agree with that. Oh, you son of a bitch. Juan says that's why the Fantastic Four movie from 2015 was made. Yes, that's right. That's made because Fox has to have... I think they have to have a Fantastic Four movie in production every 7 or 8 years, or else the rights revert to Marvel. Something weird like that. Juan wants to know when I'm making the boss baby. Juan, I don't know. I need the diaper item. Did I lose any subscriptions? The hell with those three guys. I think you have one more life left. Oh, Paperboy, you're so tactless. Oh, that's game over. Tony Bellin says, Paperboy unemployed. Great to see you here, Tony. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to make it or not. Yeah, I'd like to know what your experiences are with Paperboy. I think with a lot of people in my age group, the NES one seems to be the remembered version of Paperboy. Mostly because that was a very early US title on the NES side of things. There's a lot of the other earlier games were Japanese. As for playing the arcade version, it would be this collection. I didn't own this collection till recently, but I have played it before. Tony Ballon is saying the N64 maybe? Probably not. No, Paperboy 64 was something totally different. Anyway, crap. Good game. I'm not good at it. But, and this game came out in the same year as Super Mario Brothers, to give you some perspective. So yeah, Tony, if you have Midway Arcade Treasures 1, which is what I'm playing now, then you have access to Paperboy. And I'm talking about the game. Damn it. Tony Ballin says that he forgot there was a Paperboy 64. Not a very liked game by any means. I think that was shortly when Midway picked up Paperboy. Because as I was talking, earlier in the stream, I was talking about some arcade history. Paperboy was made by Atari Games. Which, that was after the company got split up. That's when Warner Brothers This one Warner Communications split them up, and the divide between Atari's home consumer division and their arcade division. No. When you reach the training course, you don't lose a life if you crash. It's like a weird grace period? Is that the term? I salute people who are actually good at this game. Oh well. At least we got 2 days in. No! Oh, damn it. Tony Ballin says he doesn't really have any experience with it. Oh well. Alright, I beat one of my records. Cool. Yeah, take that AT and ATG. I sure showed them. Alright, I'll try Middle Road. And then Tony, if you have any requests from the Midway Treasures Collection, maybe I can close that out with this. Juan wants to know if I own Midway Arcade Collection. Truthfully, I don't. Maybe I might get it. Who knows? Mr. Top 10 List has that. Mr. Top 10 List is the Mortal Kombat guy. I was really never into Mortal Kombat crap. I think for a long time the only Midway game I actually owned was the GameCube Spy Hunter. My friend Kyle gave me Midway Arcade Treasures 2 because I learned that he was a big fan of Midway. I was a little bit surprised to hear about that. But well, that sucks. Sucks that I crashed there. Alright, we're gonna try this around. Really depressing and mean-spirited game over screen, for sure. Yeah, Mortal Kombat Collection with a K, that would be on PS3. But for a long time, I did not care much for Midway games. In recent years, I've developed an appreciation for them. Alright, that was some weird collision. If you saw that, it looks like I went through the hydrant. I'm not sure how the collision in this game works. The angles just seem weird. Well, that was just dumb. Juan seems to be asking if I have the rest of the Midway Arcade collections. I have Midway Arcade Treasures 2, this one, and Midway Arcade Origins. I had Arcade Treasures 3. I don't have it at the moment. I've been thinking about reobtaining a copy. Okay, Tony, I'm gonna pass this on to you if you're still there. What game on this collection would you like to see me play? We'll do that and then we'll close out the stream because I'm just about ready at time here. Probably like 10-15 more minutes. Juan says in the third collection they've Hydro Thunder. Nice collection of racing games there. San Francisco Rush, Hydro Thunder, Off-Road, whatever, Super Off-Road. The big holdouts are the fact that the Mortal Kombat games. Let's see. Tony wants to know what I haven't played. Tonight I played Clax, Paperboy, Vindicators, and Rampage. So I could still do 720. Let's see, what the hell is this here? Blaster, Bubbles, Defender, Gauntlet, Joust, Marble Madness, Rampart, Road Blasters, Robotron, Satan's Hollow, Sinistar, Smash TV, Splat, Spy Hunter, Super Sprint, Root Beer Tapper, and Tubin. 720, okay. Cool choice. 720. I think I might have seen 720 twice in my life, the actual arcade cabinet. 720 is also on Midway Arcade Origins. And, you know, guys, this is why you hold on to your old toys. Because the Midway Arcade Origins does not emulate the Marble Madness or the 720 controls properly. It can't get the idiosyncrasies, the specifics of the 720 has like a crank-like control, and Marble Madness control the trackball. You know, Tony. Okay, Tony meant Sinistar. Oh, darn it! I could do both actually. Honestly, 720 is a good game to close out on. It's a little bit more substantial, so I could do Sinistar for a little bit, and then I could close off with 720, if that's cool with Juan. Juan is asking about Primal Rampage. Primal Rampage is on Midway Arcade Treasures too. And Sinistar reminds me. This is a game by Williams. This game reminds me a lot of the Namco game Bosconian, which is a pretty cool game. Tony says that, okay, so you have this one. I think this is a pretty good collection of games overall. And it's really neat to just go back into this one in retrospective. I have played this game quite a bit because I'm going to say this collection was fairly popular 15 years ago or so, but I did not own it until this year when Boney donated it to me. Juan said, why don't they call the game 420? That's because 420 isn't a skateboard trick, Juan. And I know you're just being a troublemaker. But, maybe if the game had to do with marijuana, it would be called 420. But to my knowledge, it just doesn't have anything to do with marijuana. If I didn't mention it earlier, this game was made by Williams. I'm not sure who designed it specifically. I don't know how popular it was either, because I'm pretty sure these collections were the first time I've heard of Sinistar. Also the first time I heard of Vindicators too. So I knew about the big guns, but not some of the other stuff. Like, this collection is how I learned about... Yeah, I'm dead. This collection is how I learned about... I'm pretty sure this is how I learned about Roadbusters. Okay, Tony says that he has a Nintendo 64 Midway collection. Interesting. I didn't know that there was one. It has Root Beer Tapper, Joust, and you forget what else. Juan is saying something about Bandai Namco. I do not understand what you're asking me. Joust is a really neat and quirky idea for a video game. I much prefer Balloon Fight. I don't know how popular of an opinion that is. Just the weird traction in Joust is so weird to me. I realize how redundant that statement is now. Juan wants to say, do you think there should be another Drum Master game in America? Well, Juan, if you haven't figured out, I'm going to stop playing Sinistar now and move on to 720. The thing about, if you know one thing about me, I love Japanese games. I talk about a lot of Japanese games. I own a lot of Japanese games. I think I generally prefer Japanese game design. I don't think I hate American game. I mean, I certainly know all these games here were made in America. I think in general terms I prefer them. But the arcade industry, to put it politely, it's kind of a bitch right now. And the arcade operators are not gonna pay for a big machine if they don't think it's gonna make the money. Mr. Top 10 list is here. Oh, cool. Okay, I might keep this going a little bit longer. I didn't even think you'd be awake, man. Okay, we're gonna do 720. We'll probably play until it forces you to stop playing, because 720, the continues are limited. So you came here right when we switched games, right at the right time, really. So to answer your question, Juan, I don't know the specifics. I think those kind of games are neat, but I don't know how popular they are. I know that they are a pain in the ass to maintain. And if the game doesn't get enough people playing it, and if it's hard to maintain, the operators are going to want to get rid of it, plain and simple. So 720, I think this is one of the really great skating games for the time. My issue with this game is that I think it really could have benefited from being a console game. But I find this game to be pretty admirable. Unfortunately, the controls just get really screwed up in the Midway Arcade Origins version. And I just fell on my ass there. That wasn't a 720. Damn it. So here, you got to get to the skate part. You're on a frequent timer, and if I don't get to the park in time, a swarm of killer bees is gonna catch up and consume me. Oh shit. So it's almost, I mean, it's nominally a skating game, but in theory, it's really a horror game, because we all know that bees are sons of bitches. But I just think you being on a timer, I mean, it's an arcade game, so I get it, but the tone of the game is pretty neat for the time, and it just that's what I feel very conflicted about this game. I do feel that Tony, I was gonna mispronounce the name. I feel like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater owes its existence to 720. So it's mixed feelings for sure. I mean, just hear that the fact that they feel the need to give you a map of the game world, it feels a little bit more adventure game-like than your typical arcade game. But you're on a time limit, and you gotta hustle. Cool, okay. Don't get hit by the car. I mean, this stuff here, like these parts, I think this is neat, but you never have much time to explore it. Damn it! No, it's. Oh no. That voice is just so ominous, man. There's the bees. Cue the Nicolas Cage references. You know, the company I work for does business with Nicolas Cage. I went dead. Mr. Top 10 List says, don't get hit by that car. Ah, so it's like real life skateboarding. So yeah, if you have a PS2, GameCube, or Xbox, I highly recommend this collection. I think the versions are all pretty even as far as I know. If Ryan were still here, damn it, damn. Not good, not good, not good. No, dead, no. Okay, I think this is my last continue. Even if you have infinite continues like this collection does, this game will cut you off, I think, at 2. Alright, where is that park? Alright, I need to keep going in this direction. I don't know what's up with those cars, but I think they look cool. Okay, here we go. Go. Hey, yeah, shut up. Juan wants me to play Gauntlet. The problem, it's not a bad idea, but much like Rampage, Gauntlet is not fun to play on your own. So I think I'm kind of leaning against that. Juan wants Bubbles. Okay, Bubbles, good point of discussion. I got to see a genuine Bubbles machine recently, and it definitely puts a smile on my face. It's such a weird game. But I say that with love. Okay. Do I have what I need to get in here? Ooh, missed that. Bronze medal. See, I'm trying to spin too far. Oh, that was a cool trick. Yes. I feel like I should be proud of that. Cool. I sure do, asshole. If you didn't hear what he said, what do you think this is, a charity organization? Maybe I'm being a little bit too mean. No, I gotta be mean back. This game is Killer Bees, for God's sake. Park is closed. Ooh. So maybe if you're not familiar with this game, you might be getting... Oh, jeez. That's not good. No. Yeah, it's looking pretty grim here. Yeah. I'll give it another run. Juan is saying something about BoJack Horseman and Soul Calibur 7. If they're able to cross over with Nier, maybe they can cross over with BoJack Horseman. Who knows? Let me spell out my name, you bastard. Putting me on a timer. There we go. And I'll be ATX. Yeah, I like it. Like Mega Man X. Cool. Okay, I'm going to grab a drink and then we'll get back to more skateboard action. Mr. Top 10 List says something about getting the 10th highest score. Obviously, I'm missing something here. Yeah, and if you were paying attention to the other Atari games on the that I've played so far in this collection, I feel like you definitely see some patterns with the visual presentation of the games they made. And I say that with nothing but respect. They developed their own style, and they really nailed it. Then it got bad when they made crappy games like Pit Fighter, and I think Primal Rampage is pretty lousy, honestly. Juan wants to know if I have any skateboard games. I have Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I don't have 1 or 2. Actually, no, I don't have 4 anymore. I'll have to go dig like a mole to find 3. I would definitely like to do Tony Hawk. The one thing is I would have to mute the game, probably, because there's so much licensed music in those games. I usually do test streams, and when I was doing 1080 on the GameCube version, almost all the music in 1080 Avalanche is actually licensed by some band based in Seattle, Washington. I think there's like one song in that game that's copyright safe, and the song was produced by the people at Nintendo of America. Cool. That was neat. Nope, I don't need your condescension. I gotta go to the park. If I don't skate, I'll die. See? Nope. Go. Oh, no. I went backwards. No. No. Okay, just ignore the bees. They can't harm me if you don't find them. Yeah, I think the bees are just a problem with this game. There's just... Nah. Dead. Bastard. Juan says Guardians Hood Awful. I don't know what those are. For some reason, I seem to think maybe you mean Guardians of Gahul? Some owl shit. Okay. Where? Okay. Helmet shop. Okay, so I need to go up the street and then to the right. I mean, what's bullshit about that is that I am skating. Yeah, piss off, bees. You're trying to spin too far. Tony Balance, his audio levels are good now, by the way. Good, good. I failed to qualify. Jerk. Yeah, sticking your tongue out at me. So, Mr. Top 10 list, maybe you could pick the final game to close out the night. Once we see how this pans out.